السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Dear respected brothers, elders, just imagine how you would feel if you were told that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has laughed at you favorably, in happiness, in joy. Once a man came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, "Oh Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, poverty has struck me." And the Prophet ﷺ immediately, he sent a messenger to his wives to see who could accommodate, who could entertain this guest or feed him or give him something. And the guest came back from the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, from his houses. He went and checked and he came back empty-handed. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Who amongst you, in the gathering, will invite this person or entertain him as a guest tonight? May Allah grant His mercy to him who does so." An Ansari man stood up and he said, "I, Allah's Messenger ﷺ, I will entertain this poor person." And this Ansari man, he took this Sahabi with him to his house, and he told in his household, he instructed that entertain this guest of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam generously. And his wife said, "By Allah, we have nothing except the meal for my children." And he said, "Let your children sleep if they ask for supper tonight. And then turn off the lamp and we also will go to bed tonight while we are hungry. Doesn't matter, but entertain this guest." And she did what she was told, and she obeyed her husband. In the morning when the Ansari man got up and he went to the Prophet ﷺ, Allah's Messenger ﷺ gave the news to him that Allah has laughed at such and such person, referring to this Ansari. Generous, in gratitude, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy, is pleased, and He laughed with this Ansari man. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ويؤثرون على أنفسهم ولو كان بهم خصاصة ومن يوق شح نفسه فأولئك هم المفلحون. And they give them preference over themselves, even though they were in need of it. And whoever protects himself from the stinginess of their souls, these are the successful ones. And such was the love amongst the Sahaba with their brethren. Such was the love of the Ansar towards the Muhajirun. And Rasulullah ﷺ, when the Muhajirun, they came from Mecca, they made the Hijrah, and they came to Medina, He paired the Sahaba together, one Ansar and one Muhajir, to take care of the Muhajir, so that the love and the bond increases between the Muhajir and the Ansar, between the brothers in Islam. Imagine, they have met for the first time. They have come all the way from Mecca. They have made Hijrah. And they don't know this land. They are totally, strange to this land and to the people of this land. However, Rasulullah ﷺ, with his hikmah, he paired the Muhajir and the Ansar so that the Ansar could take care of the Muhajirun. Each one was paired with one of the Muhajirun. And one of them was Sa'd ibn Rabi'a, who was paired with Abdurrahman ibn Auf from Makkah. Sa'd ibn Abi Rabi'a, he told Abdurrahman ibn Auf, "Oh my brother, among the people of Medina, I have the most wealth. I have 2 orchards and I have 2 wives. See which of the orchards you like and I shall vacate it for you, and which of my 2 wives is pleasing to you and I will divorce her for you." The revelation of hijab, remember, was not revealed till then. Abdurrahman ibn Auf, obviously he must have been a little embarrassed by the offer from Sa'd ibn Abi Rabi'a. And he said, "May Allah bless you, O Sa'd, and your family. And may Allah bless you in your wealth. But just show me where the souk is. Show me the way to the marketplace." And he went on, he started his business with a small amount of money. And we know about Abdurrahman ibn Auf, radiallahu anhu. He became one of the wealthiest persons from the Sahaba. Dear brothers, Islam is the only religion which teaches us and which enjoins upon us the rights for others, the rights of each and everything that we come across, of all the living beings. So what about the rights for our brothers in Islam? Rasulullah ﷺ said, "Haqq al-Muslim ala Muslim sittun," that there is on every Muslim the haqq upon another Muslim is six. The Muslim upon another Muslim has 6. Sorry, I ran out of words. Rights, yes, rights. 6 rights of one Muslim on the other. And from them, Rasulullah ﷺ mentioned, greet him when you meet him, accept his invitation, advise him when he asks for advice. Ask Allah to bless him if he sneezes. If he sneezes and says Alhamdulillah, then we have to say Alhamdulillah. And visit him if he gets sick and follow his funeral when he dies. Forget about visiting when the brother is sick. We don't even call the brothers in months, in weeks, in sometimes maybe years, to check whether he's alive or dead. And visit him when he's sick. This is the haqq, this is the right upon another Muslim upon you, of another Muslim upon you. To go on further, brothers, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he warned us Muslims that there will come a time upon Muslims. And he was telling this to the Sahaba, mind you. The Sahaba who were the best among all the Ummah. And he told them, there will be a time when you will be that you will be like the scum, the thing that collects around the ocean, so much in number. And the kuffar and the people around you will ponder upon you. They will inflict harm on you. They will be inflicting harm from all the sides. And the Sahaba, at that time the Sahaba and the Islam was growing, and the Sahaba and the Muslims were so little in number. So they were like, surprised. How, Ya Rasulullah, we will be so little in number? Will we be so little in number that, anybody, because even with small numbers, they were able to defeat the huge army in the Battle of Badr. The Sahaba. So they were surprised. How is it that anybody will be able to? We will do all our best. We will be good Muslims. And how is it that we will be inflicted and we will be defeated by the enemy? And Rasulullah said that is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove the fear from the enemy's hearts of you, O Muslims. He will remove the fear and He will inflict you. Because with this, the non-Muslims, the kuffar, they will be able to trample you wherever you are. Look at the state of our ummah. Look at the state of our ummah. Wherever you are, Rasulullah said, fear. Now when a non-Muslim sees a Muslim, he's like a piece of rubber. And look at the Sahaba. Umar radiallahu anhu, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when he walks in the street, the shayateen run away. The shayateen, the devils, the jinn and the devils, the shayateen from men and jinn, they run away when they see Umar radiallahu anhu. And look at us. We are being trampled like as if we are insects. That's because Allah will remove the fear from the enemy. And the Sahaba said, how ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Why? Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, because Allah will inflict you with a weakness. And what is this weakness, ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, He will inflict with you with, this weakness will be Khutba Duniya wa karahiyatul maut. That you will have the love for the dunya, and the fear of death, and the fear of akhirah. Look at us right now. Look at the state of the Muslim Ummah. Look at each. Forget about others. Look into yourselves, oh brothers. And I'm giving this nasihah. The nasihah starts with myself. I have to look into myself first. And I'm giving this nasihah first to myself and then to you. Let us go and look into ourselves. How much time do we spend in making our dunya, and how much time do we spend in making our akhirah? Let's count the hours of the day. Each one of us, we have 24 hours. None of us have any advantage in time. But how come we are able to make excuses? Oh brother, we don't have time, subhanAllah. We don't have time. Why brother? Do I have 35 or 6 hours and you have 24 hours in a day? Am I more blessed in time than you? How much time do we spend to make our dunya, and how much time do we spend in making our akhirah? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that every ummah is inflicted with a fitna. Inna likulli ummatin fitna. Wa inna fitnata ummati, and every ummah is inflicted with a fitna. And the fitna of my ummah is what? Al-mal. Al-mal. Look around you. Look at the billboards on the streets. Look into yourself. When you go out in a gathering, when you go out in a, iftar party, or if you go out for an Eid party, when you gather together, what are you discussing? Are you discussing about the dunya, or are you discussing about the akhirah? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when there is a gathering and Allah and His Messenger is not mentioned in that gathering is cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That gathering is cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we ask the brother, oh brother, how much property did you buy? You know, there is a good offer in that place. Why don't you go and invest in that? How much are you investing? Why don't you give the nasihah to the brothers to invest in the akhirah? And how much investment do we do in the akhirah? Look at yourselves. Go and look at yourself in the mirror. Beginning from the way you look to the things that you do. Your deeds, your actions, not just the iman. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Man faqra akhsha alaykum, that I do not fear that you will become, I do not fear poverty, that you will become poor. I do not fear that the wealth or you will not have food to eat. I do not fear, and he was telling the Sahaba, I do not fear that the wealth will be snatched away from you, but I fear that one day the earth and this world will open its treasures for you, the Muslim Ummah. I fear that the world will open its treasures for you, and you will race with each other. You will race who builds the tallest tower, who gets the flat and the biggest, tower. You will race for investment, you will race for this dunya when the treasures are open. And I fear that this will destroy you, just like it destroyed the people before you. This is what Rasulullah said. He did not say that we will not have food to eat or water to drink. When Abu Darda, when he wife do? Oh, subhanallah. Look at that brother. He has such a nice big house, and he has such a nice big veranda, and he has such a nice flat screen TV, and he has such a nice so-and-so car. Is this what the wife said of Abu Darda? Radiyallahu anhu. Rasulullah said, I fear for you the mal, the wealth, not poverty. Islam did not come to this world so that we have Islamic banking, so that we have Islamic finance, so that we have Islamic Sharia compliant loans. Islam did not come for this, oh brothers. Islam did not come so that we implement our desires upon Islam. Islam came so that we implement Islam upon our desires, so that we implement Islam upon our lives. For what? So that we are successful in this dunya and successful in the akhirah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, مِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرِيدُ الدُّنْيَا وَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرِيدُ الْآخِرَةِ. That some of this is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of you wish for the dunya, and some of you wish for the akhirah. Actually, most of us wish for this dunya, and some of us wish for the akhirah. You know how I know this? Because when you tell them, oh brother, oh sister, oh so-and-so, from the household or from your friends, you should strive for the akhirah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. That Allah said you should ask for dunya and the akhirah. This is the rhetoric reply and defense you get. But subhanallah, who was this ayah revealed on? I ask you, brothers. Who was the Quran revealed on? Who was it revealed on, and what did this person, the Imam al-Anbiya, the one who could have gathered all the wealth of this world, and he could have gathered all the wealth of the akhirah as well, because all his sins were forgiven, all his mistakes were forgiven, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, is guaranteed him the best place in Jannah. What did this person do? Did he try to maintain the balance between dunya and akhirah? Did he say, okay, now we have Muslims have spread. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he died, he did not even have enough oil in his house to burn the lamp. Aisha radiallahu anha had to go and borrow some oil from her neighbor to burn the lamp after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. حُبُّ الدُّنْيَا وَكَرَاهِيَةُ الْمَوْتِ. You will love this dunya, and you will fear the death, and you will fear the and you will not like the akhirah, you fear the akhirah. And we see this so much prevalent in our workplace, in our offices, in our business areas, wherever we colleagues and people who work with us. One Muslim colleague, he tries, it doesn't matter whether the brother is a Muslim or he's not, or whether he is a Muslim, you will see in the workplace, just so that he can achieve his wealth, just so that he can achieve his bonus, just so that he can come up in his work, in his position in his office, in his work. What does he do? He goes and puts down his other Muslim brother in front of his boss, in his manager. This is not a case only which I have observed. Every brother that I speak with, they complain about these scenarios in their offices. Is this what we do in our work? Is this what Islam is for? Only at your house, only in your masjid, and when you go out, you forget Islam, you forget the brotherhood, you forget about your brother who you're coming and meeting in Jummah, and he says, Assalamu alaikum, kif al-hal, barakallah, and all these du'as that you give. You forget about all this when you go to your office. But look at the perfection of Iman. How low is our Iman, my brothers? How low have we stooped that we will go and backbite, eat the flesh, the blood of our brothers, just because we want to gain some benefit in this dunya? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرَوُا الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا بِالْآخِرَةِ فَلَا يُخَفَّفُ عَنْهُمُ الْعَذَابُ وَلَا هُمْ يُنصَرُونَ. That these are the people. Actually, this ayah came from the Jews, so this might be another excuse. But this ayah was revealed on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and for the hidayah and hikmah for the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These are those people who have purchased the dunya in exchange of the akhirah. They have purchased the dunya in exchange of the akhirah. فَلَا يُخَفَّفُ عَنْهُمُ الْعَذَابُ وَلَا هُمْ يُنصَرُونَ. And their azab, the torment, will not be reduced or deducted a bit, and it will be increased in the akhirah. May Allah protect us from this. What happened to the ayat? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِنَّ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. That the Muslim, the mu'min, amongst each other, they are brothers. What happened to these ayahs? How? When so many times you keep hearing this in the khutbah, so many times you keep hearing these ayahs and these reminders, and still we go out and do whatever we want to do. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that your ummah, this ummah, is one ummah. إِنَّكُمْ هَذِهِ ummah أُمَّةٌ وَاحِدٌ. That this ummah is one ummah, your ummah. Not so many ummahs and so many different groups. And now the trend is opposite. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Muhammadur Rasulullah. I heard this ayah being repeated several times on this member itself. Muhammadur Rasulullah وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ أَشِدَّاءُ عَلَى الْكُفَّارِ وَرُحَمَاءُ بَيْنَهُمْ. How many times have the people, have the Khateeb, they have mentioned this ayah, that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and the believers are such that they are stringent and harsh, and they're strict with the non-believers, and they are merciful amongst each other. And what do we do now? We're hugging the kuffar, and we're hugging the disbelievers, and we are putting down Bengali, Malabari, Misri, as if they are, some kind of rodents. A'udhu billah. One of the worst diseases in our ummah. One of the worst diseases in our ummah. And Rasulullah strictly forbade asabiyah. And may Allah protect us from this. Rasulullah also mentioned, you see the believers as regards their being merciful amongst themselves and showing love among themselves, and being kind, resembling one body, so that if any part of the body is not well, then the whole body shares the sleeplessness and insomnia and fever with it. And I pray to Allah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings this, brings this feeling amongst of brotherhood, so that we go to this level of iman, inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. During the battle of Uhud, when Rasulullah appointed some of the archers on one small hill, I named, and he instructed them specifically not to move from this place. It was a very strategically very important location. And he instructed them not to move from this place on that small mount, which was a passage from the back to the battlefield. When some of the archers, and of course the leader of the archers, the one who was appointed as the leader, he did not defect, but some of the archers from the Muslims, the Sahaba, when they saw that the kuffar were fleeing away, when the kuffar, they were running away and they were losing the battle of Uhud, and they saw so much mal, so much booty on the battlefield, they threw everything and they ran away. Some of the archers, they said, Subhanallah, we have won the battle, and we will now go and collect what? A little pocket money. This is an example, oh brothers, till the day of judgment for the Muslim Ummah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He forgave these Sahaba. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ عَفَا عَنْكُمْ, that I have forgiven them, that Allah has forgiven them. So we should always think good of them. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and when these archers, they did that, they left the position which was specially instructed by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some of them they didn't, and all of them who didn't, amongst them was the Amir of the group, they were shaheed, subhanAllah. And the Muslim army, they had, because of this, they had a lot of loss. More than around 70 people have died. But however, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made an example, and He let it happen, and He made an example out of this incident. Till the day of judgment, for us Muslims, for us, the Sahaba, they gave their lives for us. And when this happened, and a lot of Sahaba, they died, what do you think Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do? Did he, like the boss, shout at them and chide them, and he got upset with them? It's because of you now that so many of the Sahaba have died? Did he admonish them in a rude way? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not even say an oof. He did not say a word to these Sahaba, because he knew that they had realized their mistake. He knew that they are the ones, amongst them are the ones who were forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whoever took part in the battle of Badr. He knew that they had realized their mistake, and he did not even say an oof. And how much so, oh brothers, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does He tell Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. That, O Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if it was not from the mercy of Allah that you, O Prophet, were lenient with them, it was because of the mercy of Allah that you were lenient with them. For if you had been stern and hard-hearted and harsh-mouthed, then they would have fled away from you. The Sahaba, the best of the Muslim Ummah, they would have fled away from you if you were harsh with them. And look at us now. How are we in the dealings with our brothers? The Muslim who looks at another Muslim brother and he hides his face and goes away from another, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has warned and cursed this kind of an act. When you look at a Muslim, oh, maybe I owe him something, or maybe you'll see, he talks too much, and you go away from another door. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam has cursed this kind of action. And look at the rahmah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is being told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be merciful on them. And what about us? Why, Muslims, do we have so much hatred and so much ghanam with our Muslim brothers? Why so much harshness? And why the jealousy and envy? And Rasulullah, when we know that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if this jealousy and envy, it will burn your deeds like a firewood is burned away. This is how it will burn all your deeds that you do, the good deeds that you do. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَنَازَعُوا patient with one another. وَاصْبِرُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. To conclude, I would just like to leave with one nasiha, one message, not from myself, not from any big sheikh, not from any celebrity or personality that you know. I would like to leave a message from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, the Muslim Ummah, be careful of suspicion, for it is the most mistaken of all speeches. Suspicion. Do not spy on one another. And do not compete in the Duniya with one another. And do not envy one another. Do not envy and be jealous of your brothers in Islam. And do not despise one another. And in the end he said, rather, O servants rather be servants of Allah and be brothers. Be brothers, O Muslims. And it is so easy. Let us go back today, because every word that you hear from the khutbah today, and you don't go and try to implement on it, then you will be responsible for it on the Day of Judgment. So don't think you just come and listen over here, the khutbah, and come next week just to get barakah, just so that you think that you will remain Muslim. No. Go back and take some action. Go back, oh brothers, and list down at least 10 of the deeds that you do, which are mentioned, ugly deeds which are mentioned here in this khutbah, whatever I mentioned, and from the nasiha that Rasulullah said. Go and look at yourself. Who is the one how do I deal with my brothers? Do I feel envious? Do I feel jealousy? Do I feel this? Do I feel that? Do I compete in dunya? Go list down at least 10 things and try to improve on this till you come to the next Jum'ah, inshallah. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات. عباد الله يرحمكم الله. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقيموا الصلاة.